My name's Jaclyn, and we just got finished reading How Democracies Die. In this book, it talks about how democracies die and what we can do to fix it. So here we're going to talk about saving democracies. Why democracies die? Democracies die because Democratic candidates run and they actually become authoritarian. So the media tries to control the story. So they'll say one thing, they'll mudsling, and they'll get elected. You typically don't know that they're authoritarian until after they're elected. So that's a big issue that we have to control, like Hitler in Germany and Chavez in Venezuela. How do we save democracies? And what do we need to do, and what are the costs and benefits of each of these methods? The first one is forbearance. Forbearance is defined as patient self-control, restraint, and tolerance. Forbearance, for this to happen, you need to have mutualization. You need to come to a common ground with both parties. There needs to be a middle ground, and this will stop a lot of the gridlock that happens that causes the government to shut down. No mudslinging would be a big step towards this. In the last election, Trump and Hillary did a lot of this. They talked bad about each other. So among the candidates, there needs to be common ground and respect. Trump tweets that if you go against him, you're an enemy of the state. So these statements like these have to be controlled. Method 2 is education. Education, it means the public needs to make informed votes. The media has its own agenda. Don't believe everything you hear. Different networks means that you're hearing different sides of the stories. Make sure to stay informed. You want to listen to a lot of different sources and a lot of different types of media. You want to watch the news, read the newspapers, read the magazines, and come to your own conclusions because everyone has a different side and everyone has their own agenda. Make sure that the candidates are fitting what you need. The litmus test. Everyone should learn the litmus test, as Stephen talks about in his book. Litmus test shows the signs of a Democratic candidate becoming authoritarian. So if you know these signs, you'll know what to look for and what to not vote for in a candidate. Bring civics back into schools. A lot of schools have gotten away from civics, so you need to reintegrate these into the schools so kids, when they turn 18, know what they're voting for, know what to do in voting, and so their voice can be heard and their needs are met by their candidates. Lastly, there are gatekeepers. The U.S. already has some of these in place. We have checks and balances, but this can cause a lot of issues as well. This can cause gridlock, and this can cause the government to shut down when things can't get passed because there are conflict between the branches. These aren't always 100%. They're failing. They're starting to fail us. The Electoral College isn't voting the popular vote. Trump was just elected through the Electoral College even though Hillary had the popular vote. And that's becoming an issue. The litmus test failed. Trump had all the signs, but to be an authoritarian government candidate, but we still elected him, so something has to change. Is this reasonable? The U.S. already has some things in check, like the checks and balances. So it's not always sufficient enough. We need to stop these gridlocks and have resilience. We need to have this mutualization, not always just standing by your ground. Everyone knows that people can be stubborn, especially the government, but there has to be a give and take. There has to be compromise. Benefits of these practices is keeping our democracy, keeping our freedoms that we hold dear. We don't want certain crises and certain our own democracy to fail like it has in the past in Germany and Venezuela. So there are certain things that we have to do, and they're not reasonable. And this is the work cited.